Hey, what's up guys, it is Sam here and welcome back to the channel. And today guys, I am super excited bringing you a brand new C# tutorial in Unity. In this episode we're going to be taking a look at how you create a turret system, and we're going to make it purely by using C# in Unity. And I actually saw a comment that suggested me to make a symmetrous turret system from Overwatch, so I decided that I would make something similar. Maybe I'll play around with the name and name it actually symmetrous turret, I don't know, I'm not really sure, but hope you guys enjoy the video, and if you do, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and also join the giveaway that we're running on the Discord server right now. It's super important, and yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy.
I know I get wow, 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 thoughts, wow, wow, wow. When I'm with you, all I get is wild thoughts, wow, wow, wow.
Alright guys, so here we are in Unity, and now we're going to be taking a look at the scene real quick. So you can see that we have a player in here, which is pretty much just a rigidbody FPS controller, which I renamed to player. We're not going to really use the player for this tutorial, but I just wanted something that we can actually use to walk around in scene with, and maybe we'll use it for the turret too. So then we have a directional light, which you get with the new scene. I just decreased the intensity a little bit, actually quite a lot. And then I have a ground which is resembling a plane, or resembled by a plane, which is quite large, as you can see. And then in the folder that I created here, which is called Turrets Tutorial, you can see that we have two different assets. These are two free assets that I found off of the asset store. I downloaded them and imported them to the package or this project because somebody actually requested me to use some 3D models for my tutorials, especially C# tutorials, because it might make it look a little bit better visually, so that you don't have cubes running around. So we have a game object for an enemy, and then we have a game object, actually a few game objects for a few turrets. So you can download them, the links are in the description, and this is not a sponsorship, so I'm just saying. So these are just two free assets that I found out pretty much. So we're gonna start off by adding an enemy to the scene, so we can go into the prefab folder here, drag in and drop the zombie. Oh my goodness, you're small. You are so tiny. Oh, that's cute. I don't want to kill that. Alright, there we go. So we're gonna scale it up a little bit. Rotate it. There we go. I don't know how big I should have it, but I guess that's fine. And then we're gonna enter the prefabs folder for our turrets, and we can drag and drop one of these. That looks actually pretty cool. There we go. Yeah, maybe we'll have it a little bit further back. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna make the turret a little bit smaller as well. There we go, not too small. We could actually tag our enemy or the zombie as enemy, and you can click on tag and then pick enemy here. If you don't have the enemy tag in your project right now, you can just add tag, click on, or like write in enemy like this, and then just tag it from here. So it's pretty much the same thing, but you just have to add the tag instead. So yeah, and now we can actually add a rigid body component to our enemy, and we could also add a box collider and make it, oh, I was gonna say make it bigger, but it was actually really big at start, so we're gonna make it smaller instead. There we go. There we go. Where's this little box? There we go. These are really difficult to see when you're looking farther back from, or like behind the object. You can see them really. They become almost transparent. Okay, I can't see. I can't. Oh, it's because its edit collider was unticked. Alright, there we go. That should be good. Now we can actually add a sphere collider to our turret here, and the reason I'm adding a sphere collider is because we're going to use the sphere collider in order to visually see the radius that is going to be applicable for the turret while detecting enemies. So you could do this by code. You could say, you know, if enemy is closer than this X amount of units from you, you can target the enemy, but it's a lot easier to do it visually, in my opinion, especially for new people, because you wanna, you know, it's always helpful to see this circle around, and you can see that it's a little bit offset, so we're gonna set center X to 0. There we go. I always found it to be helpful when I see it, you know, visually, but yeah, I don't know, it's just my opinion. Let me know what you think about this. So there we go. Maybe I can set it to 25. There we go. That's a pretty good radius. I am also going to, let's see here if I can find this little thing now. Lock cursor, there we go. So disable this if you have a player in your scene as well, because that's gonna lock your cursor, and I really find that annoying. It's good for a game, but it's not good for prototyping. Alright, so Now that we have this here, I can actually add a component, but before we do that, we're gonna have to create the script. So we're gonna go to turrets tutorial folder. You don't really have to use that folder if you don't want to, but I'm using it to keep it a little bit more organized in my project. So I'm gonna create a new C# script, and I'm gonna call this turret. There we go. And I'm gonna drag this onto my turret game object here. All right, and I'm gonna open it up in Visual Studio. Speaking of which, let me know in the comments what IDE you're using for editing your code. I want to know what you guys are using. MonoDevelop is being obsolete now, and Unity is removing it, so I hope you guys aren't using that. Alright, so in here, we're going to start off by adding a new private game object, which is going to be called target, and then private bool, which is going to be called target locked. There we go. So the target game object is going to be used for referring to the target or the enemy that is inside of the turret zone, and target locked in boolean is going to make sure, or we're going to use it to make sure that the enemy doesn't get re-tagged even though there is an enemy inside of the zone right now. So we are now going to create our void update, and we're also going to create a void on trigger enter collider other. There we go. So the void on trigger enter is going to be used for detecting the enemy entering the collision zone, or the collider that we actually added, the sphere collider that we added to the turret. And we're actually going to say if other.tag is equal to enemy, which is a tag that we added earlier. Then we are going to set target to other.gameObject. There we go. And we can also say target locked equal to true. There we go. Alright, so let's see here. We can now actually make sure that the turret is looking at the target when it's locked in. And to do that, I'm gonna show you guys something cool. So we obviously don't want the entire turret to rotate, right? We don't want it to like look like this, right? So what we're gonna do, this turret asset that I downloaded, sponsorship guys. So it has like a part which is called turret, and it's pretty much just the top part. And we're going to use this to rotate it instead and make sure that it's looking at the enemy instead of rotating the entire turret, because that would be very useless. So we're going to go back to code, and we're going to say public game object. This one is going to be public, and then we're going to say turret top part, I guess we could call it. That's a pretty good name, pretty descriptive at least. And now we're going to go to turret, and we're going to drag and drop this turret part. Actually, before we do that, I can, no, don't do that. So we're gonna rename this turret top part to make it a little bit more obvious for people that are new. And we're gonna drag turret top part into turret top part here. So we're pretty much just referring to this game object so that we can actually have control over its position, rotation, and all that. So now inside of our void update, we're actually going to say if target locked, then we're going to do some things like shooting, etc. And we can actually add a little comment like shooting and detecting enemies. There we go. And we're going to first and foremost make sure to rotate the turret to the correct position, or the rotation that the player is facing. And we can do that by simply saying turret top part, that's what we call it, .transform.look at, and then target.transform. There we go. So what we're doing here, we're basically saying if target locked is true, which means that we have a target inside of the zone, then turret top part is going to look at the target.transform. And we're adding transform because we already use a component called transform here. So whenever you use it here, you have to use it here as well, because otherwise you're gonna get an error. And transform component is used whenever you want to refer to the position, rotation, etc., and scale for a game object. So next up, we could actually try and see if this is going to work perfectly fine. If it's not, then we're gonna manually tweak the rotation a little bit. I didn't mean to pause. Alright, there we go. So we can play the game, and we can move the zombie to the left. Oh, whoa, that's weird. Oh, it's inside the ground with the collider. So you can make the collision a little bit smaller if you're using the same asset. There you go. Alright. That's so cute. I don't know why. That zombie is so adorable. Wow, it's actually flying off the ground. That's really weird. We could disable and then move it up a little bit. Let's see how that works, because that should not happen. Oh, I think I know what we're doing wrong. I did not set the turret sphere collider to its trigger. That's the issue, because it's pushing off the enemy now. Whoopsie. Alright, now we're gonna move the zombie in here. Yay. It's working now, but it's rotating a little bit weird like I suspected. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna open up Visual Studio again, and we can just say turret top part dot transform dot rotation. Instead of parentheses, we can set 0, 90, oh wait, 0, 90, 0, and see if that works. Let's see, what is this? Really? What about this? So we use rotate instead. Let's see if that works better. Alright, we go back to Unity, play the game one more time. Luckily enough, now the sphere collider is disabled, so it's fine. Oh, okay, so now it's looking the opposite way. It's like it's facing away, like, yo, don't talk to me. So we can basically set the 90 to minus instead, and then play the game again. Let's see if that works better. That should be better. Yes, alright, there we go. So now it's looking at the target correctly, so that's pretty good. And now what we're gonna do is we are going to make sure that the turret can shoot. And before we do that, I want to create a variable called public float fire timer. There we go. And this is pretty much going to be the amount of time or amount of seconds that the turret should wait before firing another shot. So it fires, waits for the fire timer, and then shoots again. So we're gonna say, yeah, we can also say public or private bool shoot shot ready. There we go. And we can now say if shot ready shoot, else, or actually we could just say, let's see here, if shot, wait, we could just make it very easy, and instead of our void shoot, we can simply check for, or make sure to enable, or make it true for the shot ready, or false actually. So we make it false and then it can't shoot, and then we wait for the amount of time. I was gonna make an enumerator, I think it's called. That's a very difficult name to pronounce, but a timer inside of this here, but I decided to make it inside void shoot instead. I think that'll make it easier. So we'll try with that. Now we can say instantiate. Oh yeah, we need a bullet for that too. So we're gonna create a new public, let's see here, we can make it a little bit higher up. There we go. Public game object bullet. There we go. And we can have it as a sphere, I believe. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's make it a little bit smaller, like that. We can also call this bullet. And just drag and drop it into our project tab here, and then remove it from our hierarchy because we don't need it in scene right now. And we can go to turret. Oh yeah, it's not loading the script because we have this. So we can just add a comment line here to make sure that it's not rendered. Let's see, there we go. So now you just drag in and drop the bullet prefab here. There we go. And we can now remove this and say we want to instantiate bullet.transform at transform.position and quaternion.identity. There we go. Oh, I spelled it wrong. There we go. Let's see. We could also say game object bullet equal to that, just in case we want to. Oh yeah, we can set it to transform instead, just in case we want to take control over the bullet, just in case. Alright, so what we're gonna do now is we're going to take control over this bullet that we're spawning and set it to be the same rotation as the turret top part, so that it's facing the same way as the turret top part, to make sure that it's moving in the same position as well, because we don't want it to shoot a completely different direction. So we're gonna say underline bullet dot transform dot rotation equal to turret top part dot transform that rotation. There we go. And this is going to set it to be the same rotation as the bullet, or as the turret top part. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new script. There we go, and we can call this bullet. There we go. Reload. I don't know what that does, but yeah, I always click it. Let's see. Oh, it does. Oh, we have a script already that is called bullet. So we can create a new C# script instead and call this turret bullet. Bullet for turret. There we go. We can also, we could make it part of the prefab for the bullet. Let's see here, and then open it up, reload, and then instead of our void updates, we're going to pretty much just move this one forward. So we're gonna say transform dot translate vector3 dot forward times time dot delta time times movement speed, and we're gonna create a variable here and then call it public float movement speed. There we go. And now we can go back to Unity, open up bullet for, oh yeah, we can actually add this bullet to our scene, the bullet itself. We can actually make it a little bit bigger too. There we go. And then in the movement speed, we can set it to be 10. I think that's going to be a little bit too much, but we can play around with the value later. So yeah, then you just drag it onto the bullet prefab that we already had and then remove it from the hierarchy, which means you're overriding it. So you're saving it one more time. All right, so we can actually try this now and see how this works. I don't think, yeah, the fire rate is not added yet, but we're gonna add it later, so should not be a problem. Let's just make sure that this is working. I can't really see any bullets spawning. Let's see here. Are we doing something wrong? If shot ready. Oh, yeah, we're not setting shot ready to true. We could then say void start shot ready is equal to true. And now we can try it one more time. That should spawn the bullet at least, but it's not, it's like going to move forward, but it's not really going to do anything more than that. Yeah. Wow. Perfect. Alright. It's actually a little bit weird, but what we can do here then, we can just create a cube. Move it literally on the tip of that turret's shooting barrel. There we go. That's the name. Like that. And then literally make it a child of the turret top part so that it rotates together with it. Like that. And we can actually remove box collider. We can also remove the mesh render from this. We can also remove the mesh filter. And then we can say bullet spawn point is going to be the name. And we can go back to Visual Studio. Let's see. We can then say public game object bullet spawn point. And in here, underline bullet.transform.rotation, we can set it to be the same rotation as what was it called? Bullet spawn point. Bullet spawn point.transform.rotation instead. Alright, so let's see here. We're now gonna go to turret and drag and drop the bullet spawn point here, and there we go. Let's see how that works. If it doesn't work this time either, then it means that this is something. Oh yeah, wait, actually what we can do is instead of instantiating at transform that position, we can just say bullet spawn point dot transform that position. There you go. Alright, so that should spawn it correctly as well, because as you saw, the spawning was a little bit lower because we were using transform that position. This is what I like about these series and my tutorial videos. I show you guys what the mistakes are so that you kind of learn from it as well. I hope. Yeah, okay, so this is the issue. So what you have to do, you just have to rotate the bullet spawn point by 90 degrees. That's not 90 degrees. Wait, mesh filter. Then pick cube. I'm just trying to see the cube itself as well. Actually, we could just a little like this. Rotation X 90. There we go. Let's try that. Now we're moving zombie in here. Okay, so that's the different. There we go. That to 0. And let's say Z to be 90. Let's see which one is correct. We can actually move the turret closer to the enemy so that we can actually see it live directly. Let's see it like this. Oh, it doesn't change anything. Alright, so it's y-axis. So we're gonna set y to 90. There we go. Issue solved. Now it's, though, as you can see, it's spawning way too many. That's a load of them. Oh my god, this is gonna crash it. Alright, so we're gonna do like this. We're gonna create the fire rate now. And let's see. Shot ready is equal to false. So this is going to make sure that it's only one spawning. And then we're going to start coroutine fire rate. There we go. And right under void shoot, we're gonna say I enumerator. Oh my goodness, I pronounced the name correct. Jesus Christ. I enumerator fire rate. There we go. That's such a difficult name to pronounce. What is this? Oh wow, that was actually just because we don't have a value inside of this yet. That's a pretty stupid error to receive, but oh well. It's not very descriptive either, but oh well. Unity, please. So we're gonna say... We could just pretty much say yield return new wait for seconds. What was the variable called? Fire timer, there we go. Fire timer. And then we can say shot ready equals true. There we go. Now we can go back to... yeah, we can go back to Unity. I was just checking if everything's correct. It should be correct. So we can set the fire timer to 0.5 just to try this out and play the game and see if it works. Yep, it's working. So what we want to do here, we also want to make sure that the sphere collider for the bullet is trigger. So just pick the prefab here and check is trigger. Let's see. And we could also open up the bullet for turret script again. And we can say void on trigger enter. Yeah, perhaps we can just create a variable for that too. So we can say private game object enemy targeted, or maybe target, yeah. And then on trigger enter collider other. Then we can say if other.tag is equal to enemy. Then we're going to set target to other.game object. Then target dot. This is actually interesting. We could, yeah, we need to decrease the health of the enemy. So we can create a new script, very easy script this time. C# script, enemy script. And we can move this to zombie, like that. And then we can open it up. I guess reload, I don't know, it doesn't matter. And then we can pretty much just say public float health. There we go, that's literally it. It should not be more than that. Actually, we could just say also public void update. If health lower than or equal to 0, then we could just call a function called die. Whoa, rude, family friendly. Then we can create a public void die. We could just have it like print. Oh no. I don't know. Something like that. I guess we can just say plus this game object that name plus is now dead. Literally before we kill the object, we just say that. Just to try it, you know. Alright, there we go. And then we can say destroy this game object. Alright, so we can go back to Unity now. Now we can go to zombie, set the health to be 100, and let's see, we did something more than that. Oh yeah, we had the bullets for turret script. There we go. So other.tag is equal to enemy, so we're checking if the bullet is triggering with something called enemy. Then we're going to set the target to other game object, which is the enemy, and then we're going to say target.getComponent the like tag bracket, I guess it's called, I don't know, the HTML tags pretty much, just the opening part, and then say enemy script, boom, health is equal to or minus equal damage, and then we can call a public float damage. There we go. And this is going to be the damage that we were dealing to the enemy, and then we can pretty much destroy this game object. There we go. So that should pretty much be it. Now we can play the game while we have zombie opened up, just to make sure that we were looking at the health right now. There we go. Let's see if it decreases now. It's not really doing that though. So it's destroying the object, right? Wait, bullet spawns. Yeah, it's destroying the bullet, yeah. So the script is working, it's just the health not being... oh, it's... Good joke. We did not increase the damage for the bullet. We can set the damage from bullet to 25. 25 is a bit too much. 20. Let's be kind to this zombie here. Alright, there we go. Yep, now it's working. Perfect. So now the question is, if we have multiple enemies, what is going to happen? So we can copy zombie, paste it, and then we can copy and paste it again. Or rotate them a little bit maybe. There we go. And then spread them out a little bit, like copy paste one more time. Turret. There we go, all settings are correct, but oh. Let's see. I need to change something more before we actually do this. Other than tag is equal to enemy. Yeah, here. And if and target lock equal to false. So this is basically saying if other.tag is equal to enemy for the game object that is inside of your zone right now for the turret, and if the target locked is equal to false, then we're just going to say, pretty much, we're going to say, you know, find a new target. But if there is already a target, which means that the target locked is set to true, then we're going to set it to make sure that it's not going to target a new enemy before the one is dead. Well, instead of that, we can actually just say, we can remove this line, or this part of the line. And let's see here, then we can remove these and we can say if target, then target locked equal to true, else target locked equal to false. So what we're doing here is we're basically saying if target, which is the game object, exists and it's assigned to something and it's not null, then target locked is equal to true. So we're basically saying, okay, the target is actually locked. But if it's not a target that is existing, then it's target locked equal to false. And upon killing the enemy, we're going to nullify target, because obviously it's going to be nullified when it doesn't find the game object. And we're also going to say now, if target locked, then we are going to set target to other.gameObject. That's pretty much it. Wait, we're going to say if target locked equal to false. There we go. Oh, now I see. So I checked the API and I forget about one really crucial thing, which is on trigger stay instead of on trigger enter. So the difference is on triggers enter will detect every single time the enemy detects or triggers the turret zone that we currently have. But on trigger stay will instead detect everything that is inside of the trigger zone right now. So the reason why we're not using enter is because the enemies are already inside of they have already entered the zone, so they're not being detected because there is no enemy getting detected as triggering the object right now. They are already in the zone, so they are not walking up to the enemy, or the zone. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna play after changing it to stay, and you'll see that it automatically detects another enemy, boom, goes to the next one, boom, goes to the next one, and then the final one as well. There we go. And that's pretty much how it works. So that's perfect. Now it's working. You can also like have a very small script where you place these turrets on certain locations. If you guys need help with that, let us know in the comments or in the Discord server. We're always helpful and we would love to help you guys out. So if you have any questions about that, you could always let us know. And with that being said, also join the Discord server, guys. Once again, we're running the giveaway, and this is pretty much it for this tutorial video. So I hope you all enjoyed watching. I hope you all enjoyed your time. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you stay up to date for new tutorials and new content like commentaries, level designs, more tutorials, like I said, asset reviews, and many more type of content. And if you have any feedback, if you have any other mechanisms you would like me to cover up in a tutorial or make a tutorial out of, let me know in the comments. I'm always all ears to feedback and suggestions. And with that being said, once again, thank you so much for watching, guys. Subscribe to stay up to tune, leave a like if you enjoyed, and let us know in the comments what you think, and join Discord for the giveaway. And with that being said, I'll either catch you in the comments or in the Discord server. See you guys, bye bye.
I know I get wow, wow, wow. Wow, 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 thoughts. Wow, wow, wow. When I'm with you, all I get is wild thoughts. Wow, wow, wow. When I'm with you, all I